Hey everyone, Beyond the Bottom Shelf is a podcast in which we delve into books that explore sensitive and controversial topics such as sexual violence, bestiality, and body horror. We analyze this material with an irreverent air. If you do stick around, we hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome to Beyond the Bottom Shelf. I'm Jules.
And I'm Ash.
And this is the podcast that delves into books that have been relegated to the bottom shelf. The daring, campy, transgressive, the unapologetically sleazy and tasteless. We read it all, and we savor it.
Find out which works of fiction we deem eligible to stay on the bottom shelf and which ones transcend into an honored rank of their own. We call this place Beyond the Bottom Shelf. All right, so we have an episode planned. If you stuck around for our ending of last episode, we mentioned that we were reading what?
Crackcoon by Gary Lee Vincent.
Yes. So if you remember from our last episode when we talked about the horror convention that we went to and we bought a book, this is the book. This was the book that caught our eyes.
And we got signed copies of it, and we also bought two, so we got a third one free.
Wow, you got a third copy of this book?
No, the second in the series, Crack Squatch.
Oh, gotcha.
But
Okay.
yeah, we met this dude. He was really nice.
Yeah, very nice guy.
He was stationed next to John Rousseau, who is co-writer of Night of the Living Dead by George Romero. So that was really cool. I know we already talked about it last week about not realizing it. Well, Ashley knew it was him. She's like, dang, I can't believe we saw that guy that wrote that. And I was like, wait, that's a guy? So we went back, and that's when we bought one of his books as well.
Yeah, we supported both of them. But I felt kind of bad that we were all like gung-ho
About Crackcoon.
About Crackcoon and talking to Gary Lee Vincent, and then next to him is like a fucking legend. We just completely ignored
And
him.
his books were translated into 40 different languages.
Yeah, but now that you've read Crackcoon, you realize Gary is also a bit of a legend, right?
He is definitely a legend.
Yeah.
He's been working hard.
But his book, Culture Eye, I'm assuming because it kind of fits the theme of the kind of stuff you guys have been reading for this podcast.
100%. If you saw this book, your attention would be caught too. It's this raccoon with. Does he have blue eyes on the cover though?
Yeah, I know, right?
I think it's an AI generated cover, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. It's a little fuzzy too. If you look closely, it's not the clearest pixels.
Not
but
great quality.
The top of it says "Crack Kills."
It has a very cheesy font that with the title Crackcoon.
Yeah, it's underlined in red. I'm looking at it right now.
But it's clear that this book is in on the joke.
Yeah.
And that it's meant to be campy and sort of goofy.
Definitely.
Yes, and he says that himself, not to us, but in interviews when I was doing my author research, I heard him say that. But he happened to show us when me and Ash were up at his stand. He wanted to show us his booth, not his stand, at his booth, and he definitely knows how to sell himself. He has nice posters, and of course, having John Rousseau is awesome for the people that know him. But he showed us the trailer for Crackcoon,
Yeah.
which has a ridiculous amount of views on YouTube, 300,000. But anyway, there's a trailer because there's a movie coming out because this was written in coordination with a screenplay. The guy Brad Twigg directed it. He wrote it. They did it at the same time.
Yeah.
In tandem,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, how many, has this got a lot of readership, on Goodreads, does it have reviews and stuff?
No,
It has
sorry.
7 reviews.
7 reviews, okay.
7.
Okay, cool. You guys really know how to find some niche stuff.
Right? We're only for the best for our listeners.
And it felt cool, this one, because like the last 2 books we read were like on the Kindle, but this one was like, hey, we actually got to meet the guy. And we met 2 other authors too when we bought their books. Well, John Rousseau and then another local writer, which is super cool, which we might talk about in the future.
Yeah. So lots of cool finds. We'll talk a little bit more about Crackcoon, obviously, but maybe we should talk about, how our week's going. What else are we reading? Because, guys, we don't just read this stuff.
Yeah, to reiterate that, this is fun to read this stuff, but we also read and watch other books.
So, Jules, what have you been reading this last week?
So
or watching? We don't have to mention the movies we watched.
Yeah. Oh wow, we watched a crazy anime. Very crazy because Jakob's really into older animes at the moment. I forgot can you tell me the title of it?
Violence Jack.
Violence Jack. And it kind of goes along with this podcast. If you guys have not seen Violence Jack, it is one of the, I feel like I'm pretty, like it doesn't faze me much, me and Jakob, but there was some crazy violence in it. And it's like a 3-episode, 50 minutes each. But that was an experience. We're on the 3rd episode. Besides that, and you can talk more about that too, I want to start I want to start Hyperion because Jakob really wants me to read that. And I want to read another sci-fi novel. At the moment, I've been reading not excerpts, I've been reading the letters from a Stoic, like Seneca's letters. Those are super good. I read those out loud to Jakob sometimes. It's crazy how much that dude said before anybody else said it.
Yeah, Joy forgot that we are both reading.
I know. Yeah, sorry. I meant to.
We are both reading Seneca's letters.
We chose this book together. So we're like reading it. I think Ash might be ahead of me, but yes. So I'm currently on this seeking out a novel to read because like me and Ash were talking about it. Like Seneca's letters you can read. It's like you don't want to read it too quickly because it's a good read.
Hyperion, Jules. You gotta
what
read
is
that.
Hyperion?
Oh, it's a science fiction novel by Dan Simmons. Okay. It's actually the first book in a series of 4 books. But Hyperion's kind of like the first part of a 2-parter. The first one's Hyperion, the second one's The Fall of Hyperion. And then there's 2 more books in the series that he wrote like 10 years later or something.
And you're on the second one, right?
I'm reading the 3rd one. It's called Endymion.
Oh.
Pretty good, pretty solid so far. But a lot of people don't like the 3rd or 4th one as much as the first 2. And I think most people really like the first one the best in terms of consider it the most artfully written and literary of the 4. And it is, I definitely agree with that assessment of it. The second one becomes a little bit more of a large scale sort of space opera with more action and thrills. And the first one is very strange and fragmented in a way that's really interesting.
Isn't it like make a lot of allusions to Canterbury Tales, or it's like similar in structure?
Yeah, it's kind of the whole structure is like these pilgrims on a journey and they all have a story to tell. Like the Canterbury Tales, yeah. Because I'm coming from reading Ursula K. Le Guin, is there lots of character development in it, or is it more idea? I would say it's a good mix of both.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of characterization, but also lots of interesting big ideas, cool science fiction ideas, but also a lot of like more fantastical, strange stuff as well. I think you would like it. I think you should read it.
And let me just say, I am going to read it. I sounded like I kind of have already started it, but I obviously haven't. I read like the prologue, but I want to buy the physical version. So me and Ash need to go to the bookstore.
Yeah, we gotta go to Barnes and Noble. I know it's not politically correct to go to Barnes and Noble.
Is it not politically correct to go there?
No, it's
why?
more.
Because it's a big box store.
I think I'm just on
everybody
Bookspam
hates
too much.
Amazon more.
Yeah, people don't like.
So that's
Amazon.
like the top tier worst thing to go to.
Amazon, then
I feel like Barnes and Noble is slightly better.
But we want to support independent book.
But independent bookstores is like
but
the top tier, right?
they never have the stuff that I want, though.
Yeah,
that's Jacob's biggest complaint with the independent.
Like I want to go, but they don't have the stuff that I want.
But they can order it for you. You know how they always ask you, can we order it for you?
But
it's
like it's more expensive.
It's very expensive, yeah.
But Ash, you are reading an interesting book you told me about yesterday.
Oh yeah, I can't really pronounce the name for whatever reason. It's called Penance, I think.
That sounds like just a normal word. I thought it was going to be some crazy word.
Penance.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time pronouncing. It's penance, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always second guess myself.
That was weird.
Sometimes.
I thought it was going to be like a Japanese title or something.
It's like a British author, right?
No. Penance by Eliza Clark. It's a very I don't know how to describe this book. I guess it's not true crime, like a crime novel, but it's very meta. And also, it's not really a crime novel because I think it touches on a really interesting topic that I'm personally really interested in. Kind of, how do I describe this? It's more like trying to expose that like true crime fandom community on the internet and how insane people can be sometimes, how creepy it can be.
And like toxic that whole situation can be with people playing detective and stuff.
Yes,
Is that when you say it's meta, that's what you mean, I guess?
Yeah. Well, also,
that sounds kind of interesting.
It's very interesting. And I think this person, I mean, she seems young enough, but she's actually someone who seems to be very knowledgeable of the internet and knowledgeable of that fandom and just like, I don't know. And also I thought it was kind of interesting is kind of how she talks about how sometimes in this like true crime media, there tends to be like a focus on how people who have been through these like really, horrific deaths, they're always described as like, I don't know, they were such an amazing person. They just lit up the room. But, shitty things can happen to shitty people sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like those nuances get lost sometimes. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting story.
Yeah, people start creating narratives.
Yeah.
They're like, this was the good guy and this person was the victim. And that seems to happen a lot.
I've noticed
for sure.
that's like a lot. Like
when looking back on a situation like that.
Overuse of like describing people. Oh, they were just like, they were smile lit up a room. Like on a lot of shows too, when they're talking about like, I guess like you romanticize.
You understand why it happens. It's like, oh, Jimmy died? Yeah, that's terrible. He was kind of an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, no one, they're like, yeah, he was a pretty nice guy. Yeah, I mean, it seems weird to speak ill of the dead, especially if they're murdered or something like that.
Right.
Tragic has happened. Yeah.
I know.
But it kind of makes sense that that's how it goes. But yeah, that's interesting.
It sounds like a cool novel, though. If it is, would you call it satire? No, satire, maybe. Never mind. That was the wrong word. An expose.
We'll delete this part, Jules.
Yeah, because I'm an English major. So
because you messed that up.
Yikes.
I don't know how to call it, because it has a very interesting way of how it's telling the story, because it's written from the perspective of a guy who is writing about this, this crime that has taken place. So it's not, I don't know. It's like a book within a book. It's very strange. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's kind of like Call of Cthulhu.
Yes, exactly. Like if on a Winter's Night Traveler. Very interesting. But I don't know. It's a very clever book. I definitely would recommend it to people if they're also interested in kind of expose of like true crime and like the fandom on the internet. But
which is interesting because you really don't read contemporary fiction, but you seem to really like this.
I do not read contemporary fiction. Sorry. But I do like this book a lot. And also, I'm also reading Seneca, and I like it a lot.
You should read Hyperion next.
Hyperion?
Or Ursula K. Le Guin. I want Ashley to read.
Hyperion.
But also, so that's what you're reading right now, right?
I'm reading Endymion.
The third one.
I like saying that name because
Endymion.
I'm trying to get it like the pronunciation right in my head, so I'm like saying it out loud. You know what I mean? Because every time I see it, I want to say it incorrectly.
Endymion.
And
you're Jakob, by the way, also he will buy the physical versions of books, very nice copies, but he does not like to ruin them, so he'll read on Kindle.
Yeah, we mentioned this in the first episode. I like reading them like on my phone and stuff because it's super convenient. And then buying the physical copy, which I kind of consider it to be like a trophy. Like a notch on the bedpost of having read something. So I put it on the shelf, which might be really a weird thing to admit. I don't know.
I respect that. No kids touching these books.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for movies, I'm recently taking advantage of my Canopy. I can't really call it a subscription, like streaming service.
Yeah.
It's, if you don't know what Canopy is, it's like a streaming service, but it's all free if you sign up with your library card. And it has a lot of cool stuff on there, like genuinely a lot of cool stuff. And they have a really wide range of world cinema on there. So I've kind of just been like going through them and like been watching a lot of foreign films that they have on there. Like I watched a really cool like Vietnam movie from the 90s.
What was it called?
Platoon.
No.
Born on the 4th of July.
No.
Then what the fuck could it possibly be?
The Scent of Green Papaya.
What the fuck?
Have you heard that?
I haven't heard of that.
I don't know. It's
Okay.
It's
You did
okay.
say foreign films.
Did you
I guess.
review it on
Yeah.
Letterboxd?
I did.
We'll have
But
to-
anyway, I'm just been going through them because I think it's really cool that they're a selection. And if I think you guys should check it out too.
Yeah, maybe we will. Or maybe we'll just keep watching full moon movies.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
Oh yeah, because
And
that's what
trashy,
we're on.
politically incorrect animes from the 80s and 90s.
Violence Jack. What have we watched recently? We want to watch Dune, the new one, because we haven't even watched the first one.
Yes.
So tomorrow is
I want to
officially when we're
watch.
watching that. But not the sequel, the first one. I don't know when we're going to get to seeing the second one.
I want to watch the first. Yeah, I want to
You
watch
haven't
it
seen it
very
yet?
badly.
You haven't watched it yet, this
No.
first one? Okay.
We can watch it tomorrow. Anyways, so
Okay, let's get into the book, though. I'm excited to hear about this Gary Vincent character and his
Gary
super cool
Lee.
book.
yeah. So I guess I'll tell you a little bit about Gary, what I found.
I gotta admit, though, we did watch a little bit of one of his films on Tubi.
Oh, we did.
We
And,
did.
It was pretty cool.
It was wild. I forgot what
Yeah,
it was
very
called.
interesting.
He did. He reuses some of the same actors, or there's one iconic actor that we see in all like.
Yeah.
This guy has a really interesting look. He has like face tattoos, bit burlier guy with like a nice beard, and he's in like a lot of Gary Lee Vincent's social media too. I wish I could name drop him right now, but yeah.
Gary Lee Vincent's pretty interesting because he's like a jack of all trades, right? So you can find his movies on Tubi, but he also writes books, and he's also
Musician.
a musician.
Y'all.
He's got these really super cool music videos online.
Yes, you guys.
It's really something.
He is a jack of all trades. That's exactly how to describe him. He is an accomplished author.
But you would think he would be like doing, because he does like these horror movies a lot, and different genres he'll dabble in, but a lot of his stuff kind of leans in the camp horror direction, like with his books and some of his movies. But then also some of his movies are kind of got a Christian angle, which is interesting.
It's very-
and then also his music,
Has
you
a
would think it
Christian-
would be like metal or something, but it's like Josh Groban or something. It's like very old fashioned, very like pseudo gospel stuff. It's very, very interesting. Maybe we'll play
we found
you
one
some
of his. Yeah, we found a music video from 13 years ago on Gary Lee Vincent's
That one we
YouTube.
watched the other night was 13 years old.
It's 13 years old, and it was like
They looked pretty good.
it had like nice production value, and there was this like girls in black dresses, like backup singers, and he was at a piano, and y'all, the ending scene, he lays his hands on the piano, putting his hands, and it was.
It was awesome.
And like there was like this red effect at the end, but we'll play some of that song.
I stand tall, I walk proud, I don't fall, at least not in front of the crowd, and I live like I love, and I don't ever give up.
But yes, he in his author bio at the back of this book, he calls himself an accomplished author, musician, actor, producer, director, and entrepreneur.
Respect.
Yes, I mean, he founded Burning Bowl Publishing, a media company that kind of supports small independent writers, feature film production, and distribution. I think that's, pretty cool. Start a production company. Get your friends in on it. And you guys, his horror novel, one of his first novels, it's called
Did you
Dark.
say horror novel?
Yeah.
Sounded like you said porn novel.
Oh, I'll read you
Did
that.
I hear that?
I'll read you
incorrectly?
that.
I thought she said horror novel.
Oh, maybe it's because I don't have super cool headphones like you guys,
Yes,
and I
you
can
can
hear
hear
what
my
you're saying. That
enunciation.
sounded very strange. Okay, his first horror novel?
Yes, his first horror novel.
You can cut this part out.
Okay. His first horror novel called Darkened Hills. He, in an interview and across the book, the physical book, because I went on his website, you guys, I did some deep diving. He put 2010 Book of the Year winner by a magazine called Forward Literary Magazine or Forward Magazine.
And so one of my breakout books became Darkened Hills, and it was a vampire series. So after the first book came out, it won the 2010 Book of the Year by Forward Reviews Magazine for a top horror novel.
So I did some research because I was like, if this is a Book of the Year, it's got to, like, this has some accolades. So I think this is interesting to say. The reason I'm talking about this is, because if you do anything with like writing or making films, and you're into like small, you want to get published, there's companies that will, I think, like take advantage of you. That's why I wanted to point this out. But basically, Forward Literary Magazine, if you pay $99 to register your book for an indie award, there's a really high chance that you're going to win something. Because, for example, in this year, 2010, there was 215 books in 55 different categories, ranging from religion and spirituality to horror to bizarro, that won Book of the Year.
Wow.
Different levels.
What genre did he win in?
He won it in horror, and there was 3
Okay.
top winners. So he did get the silver
So
level.
he got second place.
He got second.
Wow.
So
Wait, what? So he got silver, but he was also book of the year.
Book of the Year Silver Award.
yes, Book of the Year.
Oh.
So it's a
But
little.
I doubt he put silver on the front
No,
of the
No,
book.
he
it
didn't.
may-
He said 2010 Book of the Year according to Forward Magazine. I just
Right.
wanted to, yes. So and it
Yeah,
looks,
we make films and do sort of independent film stuff, and yeah, there's a lot of sort of dubious film festivals that want your submission money, and they'll say that you're a finalist or you got selected,
Mhm.
and sometimes they won't even have a real screening,
Exactly.
or it's all done online, or there's a lot of stuff like that out there for indie writers, indie
Artists.
filmmakers, artists of all types. Yeah,
And Jacob even mentioned like when like musicians can pay for like a review. Yeah. So I just thought it was interesting because it's to be on the lookout for when you like see books, like they can be a little bit misleading with these awards. But I mean,
and I don't think they're fooling anybody. Let's be honest.
yeah, I don't think they're fooling anybody.
But yeah.
Yikes.
But yeah, so this is called Forward Magazine. There was a lot of books on the docket, 55 categories. It's a lot of categories. But the website
But
seems
that
kind of
doesn't
legit.
mean that Darkened Hills isn't really good.
I know exactly. I mean,
Just because it has this
there
dubious
was top
ass
3.
award, or you know what I mean.
Yeah, so it could be really, really good.
Yeah.
And it takes place in West Virginia, which seems to be the setting for a lot of his novels because that's where he was born.
Okay.
Appalachian.
Appalachian, yes. He's also, if you look him up on like his IMDb, you'll see like pictures of him, and he like circles himself in red, where he's been in a lot. He's appeared as an extra and stuff like Stranger Things, a lot of movies and films. So besides making films, you guys, he also has been in some stuff, and
Yeah.
he makes a point of showing it.
Yes.
And yeah, he does, because like when we went to the convention, and I remember saying this to you when we first walked up, because we hadn't talked to him yet, but there was this big banner, and it was like The Matrix and The Walking Dead. It was like every big property you can think of he had on his
Black
banner
Panther's
above
on the
his
website.
booth. Black Panther, and it's like, okay, wait a second, he's probably an extra in all these movies, and that's what it turned out to be the case.
Yes.
And it's funny, I
film
wonder if he even
experience.
made it on screen on all these, or if he just participated in some capacity as an extra, and even if he didn't make it on
and
screen,
even if the
he's
scene
still
was
putting
cut
it
or
on the.
something.
Yeah, but can you imagine somebody walking up and be like, "Hey, so like, what scene were you in Black Panther?" Whatever. He was like, I wonder if
I think he would
how that
confident.
conversation would
He
go.
would.
you know?
I think he would be confident and know exactly which, what to describe.
Yeah, he
Um,
would.
But yeah, nothing wrong with that. It seems like he has a lot of fun. I mean, we might cut this, but like I went on his Facebook, and he's always like posting throwback things. Like, oh, we're gonna cut this, right? Yeah, let's cut this.
You're good. I'm just keep sniffing,
Oh,
and I
that's-
know that it's coming through the mic because Ashley keeps looking at me every time I fucking do it.
We'll just tell viewers that you're sick. Listen.
Yeah, he's
But they don't want to listen to me snorting and snotting the whole time.
We can
I'm
put some
sure.
music. We'll put some Gary Lee Vincent music in the background.
Yeah, it'll cover it up.
Anyway, so yeah, he's made a lot of movies. He says that he's appeared or worked on over 100 feature films and documentary projects, and he shows no signs of stopping. All right, so yes, this man wrote all these books, made all these movies. But let me tell you, I think this is one is near and dear to him. He dedicated it to Brad Twigg, who is a person that is directing the movie, which is, again, go look it up on YouTube. It's got lots of views. And John Rousseau is in it. He's a
yes.
So you keep mentioning the lots of views. Are you insinuating something by saying that? Are you insinuating something akin to the dubious book award that maybe he didn't get organically get all those views?
All I'm saying is there's that many views. This horror
like
production company has like 300 subscribers or maybe 800, which is not a bad thing. That's a lot, but 300,000 views and comments are disabled. There's something a little suspicious about that.
Well, it's obvious that they were paid for, and I would bet money on it, because if you find a video that has 8,000 views on it, it'll have so many comments you can't even scroll to the bottom and see the end of them. You know what I mean? And it's a 10,000 views. So if something's got 300,000 views,
why would you write the comments?
It would have 1 million comments. So it's obviously paid for. And but yeah, that's okay.
That is okay.
That doesn't mean the trailer's not awesome.
Exactly.
And the movie isn't fucking amazing. Okay.
I know. I think Crackcoon, he is starting to really prize, because it was literally right there, front and center on his booth, ready for people to look at it, and we fell for it.
We did. We walked up to it, did not have an intent of really engaging, but I'm glad we did, because I'm glad
I want to hear about this fucking book. Let's go. Tell me something about it.
Crackcoon. I'll give a synopsis. So, Crackcoon, written by the Gary Lee Vincent, it's told in an omniscient perspective, and there are literally so many characters that narrate each chapter to the point where it's kind of hard to keep up. But anyway, Crackcoon is the first installment in the Crack universe, according to Gary Lee. And sorry. All right. So there's Crackcoon's the first one, the one that we're talking about today. Then there's Crocodile, and then Crack Squatch.
Oh.
And maybe even more crack animals in the future. We'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, honestly, there were so many characters in this book. I truly have no idea who the protagonist is, but, that's fine. The story sets off on late at night in an alleyway with our first two characters we're introduced to, whose name is Mo and Chris. They are drug addicts, and they are waiting for their next fix from their drug dealer, Denny. When Denny arrives, he mentions about this new designer drug that's currently revolutionizing the drug business that supposedly can get you more lit, quotation marks, hand air quotations, than heroin.
That's pretty
I don't
strong.
think Gary Lee Vincent knows anything about drugs at all.
No.
That's, yes. Even everything about the drug deal felt like a guy that's...
He's watched a bunch of movies where people do drug deals.
Yes,
Yeah.
even how they talked. Like, I mean, I think Ashley might talk, like, have this in your notes, but like how they talked and they're, I don't know. It was like what they called the drugs and stuff.
They met in the alleyway, stink like piss.
Hey, what is the name of the drug?
Oh, well, I was getting there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just was curious.
I got cut off. Its name is Agent Orange, and it has the appearance of small candy rocks. Small little orange candy rocks.
Okay, that's kind of cool. Maybe he does know about drugs.
Or, you're not ready for this. Or it looks like little marshmallows.
There's an inconsistency.
Candy rocks or marshmallows?
Yeah, he changes what
That's
they
like wildly different.
I know.
Ashley was so annoyed by that.
It makes no sense. And all the other characters were saying, oh, yeah, it looks like little candy rocks or little marshmallows. And I'm
Do you think that was like part of the joke, that it was inconsistent? Is there some humor in that? I guess
maybe, because it makes no sense. Why would it look like little marshmallows if it looks like candy rocks? One's soft and one is hard and brittle.
Different texture.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
Okay, resume the synopsis. I apologize for interrupting you. Okay.
It's fine.
Okay, good.
Mo and Chris, they're hesitant about this drug, but intrigued. And they want to give it a try because they want to know what's with this supercharged crack that Denny is calling it. Yeah. So Chris is the first one that tries the drug. And he definitely is feeling the strong high that was promised to him. And he's loving it. But Mo quickly realizes, his friend, that this drug has some serious adverse effects. Chris is now, his eyes are just like this opaque orange eye color, and he's becoming unreasonably angry. So this is like the dumbest argument ever. So apparently Chris is mad at Mo because he wants him to go outside to pee.
Oh yeah, I forget. They're in
I
like
thought
a
you said they
crack
were in
den.
an alley.
No, they
They go to the
a little
trailer
tiny-
to do
Gotcha.
they go to a trailer to do the drug. Mo keeps saying he needs to go to the bathroom, and Chris is getting so unreasonably pissed. He's like, well, why can't you just go outside and pee?
I forgot
Go
this detail.
outside.
So
Like
what's the argument though?
That's the argument.
That he should go outside?
The guy that's not on, the guy, he's aggressive and he's like annoyed that his friend is not on Agent Orange, right?
Mm-hmm. Mo hasn't taken the drug yet.
Yeah, and Mo's the one that needs to pee.
Yeah.
And the one that has taken it is saying, "Why don't you go outside and pee?"
Is
Am I understanding that?
Yes,
Okay,
I
and
forgot.
then but what is whatever his name is, Mo or whoever that didn't take it? What is his argument for going? Why does he not want to go outside?
He's just
and pee?
taking his time. He's just being very slow moving.
Okay, and he's just getting frustrated that he won't go outside.
The
and
other
pee.
guy is
Yeah.
being
That is-
irrational.
It's really irrational. It's stupid.
I feel like he could have contrived a better argument than this.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. But anyway, Chris is now become instantly addicted. He takes a little too much of the drug and now has become violent towards Mo because he's so pissed at him for not going outside, and Mo has peed himself. So this is what set it off.
Okay.
Now, Chris takes the crack pipe and begins stabbing him
Okay.
and stabs him in the eye.
Okay.
And then he dies.
Okay.
So after the murder has taken place, Chris has now overdosed and he has died as well.
So 2 dead bodies.
Yes.
Okay. I like this so far.
Also,
It's a good
the
intro.
violent scene was like very fast, and it wasn't
was.
even.
So you
I
thought
wanna
it would
build
like
up.
indulge a little bit more
Yeah,
in the
I wanted
gory
some
details, but it
indulging
doesn't.
there. Yeah.
I mean, maybe he thought the fact that a disgusting glass pipe being stabbed, going into someone's eyeball was enough, but he didn't really like revel in the details.
Describe the pipe as like disgusting. I want to say
Right.
something.
Right?
Or even the crack den, like the trailer.
And then like his eyes, like the white goo comes out of his eye sockets or whatever.
Yes.
Something
This
like
will
that.
be
It is none of that.
Nothing like bitch in the box.
It pops
No.
like a balloon or whatever in his
No,
eyeball.
I don't remember any good details.
No,
Right.
it was nothing like that. And this is going to be a recurring,
Issue.
qualm that we have, just to say.
Good.
All right. So from here, we get introduced to a plethora of different people, ranging from a forest ranger, who, by the way, is also named Gary.
Gary Bentley.
He's going to play him in the movie.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
sure.
going to play him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes
sorry.
sense.
Sorry. And then we have, so ranging from the forest ranger, Gary, campers, hookers, drug dealers, who all happen to be in this mountain area, and they have no idea what kind of weekend that they have in store for them. Especially when a pet raccoon named Elvis finds a baggie of Agent Orange. Dun, 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 and transforms into a flesh-eating monster that is ready to kill anyone and anything in order to get his next fix of Agent Orange. Who is safe from the Crackcoon? And how will this nightmare of a weekend play out?
Wow.
Will this be the end of the revolution of Agent Orange, or just the beginning? We shall see.
I said wow too early. I didn't realize you had 9 more rhetorical questions.
I know. I was like, wait.
I have a question. Why doesn't the raccoon die of an overdose immediately?
I
In 2
know.
seconds.
Doesn't it?
Okay.
Okay. Also, the reason the raccoon has a name, all this raccoon crazy stuff, it takes more than half of the book to get to it, doesn't it?
Yes.
But the Gary Bentley, the park ranger, who strolls to the park, making sure the campers aren't being ridiculous, all that stuff. that his job entails. His wife loves raccoons, and he kind of gets annoyed because she feeds them and stuff. Kind of like she's really sweet. And she feeds them like lunch meat, and she has a bunch of them, and she names one of her favorite, I think, Elvis, and that's the raccoon that. So when it flips to like the raccoon's perspective, it's not really like in his head, really.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, it's this book was hard to get through, not gonna lie.
It was hard. So that was like the beginning part. We can kind of go towards maybe the chapter 3 when we go to Denny now.
Back to Denny the drug dealer.
Yeah. So Denny is just enjoying the sweet life with his old blue Cadillac SUV. You know, he's cruising down. You picture it in your head, probably. Denny he sells drugs for survival. And he believes Agent Orange is going to be a big hit. Now, he gets a call from Max, and Max is the chemist behind Agent Orange.
And also the only character that doesn't have a last name.
Yeah, I know. That's another thing. Everyone has a fucking first and last name in this book, even the most minor characters. And for some reason, this guy is the only one that does not have a last name.
And let me tell you, every time they're introduced again, it's like Gary Bentley went into his Jeep and roamed the forest. Tessa Diaz, whatever. It's like he repeats the first. It's like very movie-like. It's like Gary Bentley.
Yeah. But maybe... So is Max is the chemist?
Yeah, he's the chemist.
He doesn't have a last name.
No, he does not have a last name. And he is the brains behind Agent Orange. For example, Max says that Agent Orange stuff is fucking potent. I mean, I coded addiction into it. That's worse than a junkie's craving for heroin. That's all we get. Any kind of analysis or any kind of details about the chemical makeup of Agent Orange is that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, it should have like a more interesting origin.
Right?
Or, yeah, there's some grander design behind it or some conspiracy.
I mean,
or
maybe the next few books go into it.
Yeah, maybe.
Or there's
so.
some unintended consequence of the way it was made that causes it to have this adverse reaction in people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot you could have done there. But so is it just that simple?
Yeah, literally.
Okay.
He just coded addiction. And I don't know what that means.
Yeah, he could just say that's what happened, but I don't know if Gary Lee Vincent understands what that means and how that would work chemically or like technically or scientifically.
People's eyes turn orange.
Right.
Like what? Or like makes them turn into a monster. Or like makes
It would
them
have been
angry.
more interesting if it was like a comet hit the earth and it was some alien substance and then they decided to make it into drugs and then they started giving it to people and it was really popular, but then it started turning people into flesh-eating monsters. You know, it needs some like more bizarre origin, I think.
Yeah. An alien would be cool. Yeah, that would have been cool. There is no origin that.
What if it was an alien drug dealer? That'd be sick.
Maybe Denny is.
Maybe.
An alien drug dealer.
You know, we don't know what crocodile.
Remember that movie we watched about the alien drug dealers called Dark Angel? You forgot about this movie. I think we watched it together, me and Jules, and she literally like erased it from her memory immediately.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's got Dolph Lundgren in it.
Oh, I do remember. I do remember it.
Anyway,
okay,
sorry for that aside. It's kind of got that plot. It's about warring drug smugglers that are aliens. But it takes itself pretty seriously.
Dolph Lundgren.
So it's kind of mysterious, this Agent Orange stuff. And even in the next chapter, when Chris and Mo are at the county morgue and they're being autopsied, these county coroners have no idea why, you know, their eyes are turning orange or they're, you know, I don't know. It's like interesting. I think there's been other dead bodies that have been coming through the county coroner that have kind of like similar symptoms of like the orange eyes.
Yeah, and they're trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, but
what's sweeping this small West Virginia town?
Right. So it's definitely been booming a little bit on the streets, this drug.
But a lot of people are dying.
Yeah.
But when they made it, they thought it would be this big hit and make them a bunch of money, but it also kills the client or the customer.
The crack addicts.
So that doesn't seem like a good way to make money.
I don't.
If they're not returning and getting
girl
more of the drug.
Tess later, she's like the kind of like I guess the sex worker or whatever, but she's like a crack addict and she tries a little dab of it. She's like instantly like hooked. Like it's really strong for like, it's like nothing like the normal crack. But she takes a little bit. And as long as she took a little bit, she wasn't completely aggressive. But
Got it.
she became more aggressive later. But
Yeah.
I guess in tiny doses.
Okay,
Mhm.
cool.
Then, so now we're getting introduced to Gary Bentley. He is now introduced into the canon. He is a forest ranger, and I think this character is honestly kind of funny and endearing. There's something kind of funny about like a forest ranger who's overly protective of his forest and his like, and like trying to run off the people who are littering his grounds. Like there's something kind of funny about it, but I don't know, whatever. He is very overly protective of his woods. Gary is also married to his wife, Charlotte Bentley, for 20 years and has a son named Mike who is studying marine biology. And now the bulk of this fucking chapter, and I think it's such a waste of time. He talks about how disappointed he is in his son because he went to marine biology and not became a forest ranger.
It was so stupid. It was
so
like
dumb.
and like anytime the characters have like a moment of interiority or like thought, he has to put it in italics.
Yes.
Like the whole book, every chapter just italics. It's like my son didn't want to continue the family tradition. He had to study marine biology. Like, and that's like a disappointment to him. And it's just like I felt like that was one of the most weird, ridiculous details. I'm like,
And this is the son of the park ranger guy, right?
yeah.
And he's disappointed. This nature-loving park ranger is disappointed that his son would get into wanting to study nature and stuff.
Yeah,
Doesn't that
Yeah, it
seem
makes
weird?
no sense.
It's so weird. I'm like, Gary, what you doing here?
I don't know
Yeah.
if this is also supposed to be some kind of joke or like supposed to be funny.
Maybe there's supposed to be an irony to that. I don't know.
He was generally calm, except when bad things interfered, either with his family or with the forest, both of which he loved passionately.
That was pretty good.
Wait, isn't there Wait, is there a description? I wanted you to read this of the well stacked. Do you have that anywhere?
That's very further down.
Oh, that's way further down.
yeah.
Okay. I forgot if that was his wife or
No,
Tess.
that
Tess.
was Tess. About his wife, though, Charlotte, he described her, by the way, as tall and slim and blonde.
Great adjectives.
Right? Isn't that amazing? Not like, my wife is really kind and,
He did like, I don't know if this is meant to be funny or if he was serious, but like one thing he's mad about is that his wife, Charlotte, had fed all the lunch meat to.
Oh, yeah.
If you can explain that. Like it was like this weird detail. And I like.
Yeah. So Charlotte was looking through her, looking through the fridge, and she notices that all the lunch meat is gone. And then Gary gets like unreasonably pissed. He's like, lady, where's all my lunch meat? Blah, blah, blah.
For my sandwiches.
Because Charlotte was like, I'm sorry, honey, you're not going to get your sandwich today. And then he said, and I quote, because, by the way, Elvis is the one that took all the lunch meat.
Elvis the Raccoon.
Yeah, Elvis the Raccoon. So he says, now that little thief has deprived me of my sandwich. And then she starts chuckling. And then he says, what's so funny, woman?
It's oh,
But I think this was supposed to be a joke.
yeah, like go make me a sandwich.
Like I feel like it's all supposed to be like irony.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think so, but it's not. It didn't come off that
Do
way.
you think his songs are ironic? Do you think his movies are ironic? The Christian movies?
I see. What if this is?
That's
being,
the big mystery of this whole thing.
If this is being made, like the whole time I was reading it, I was like, this guy's like viewing this book like scene by scene. That's why it was like a new character because I think he's just thinking about the movie the whole time.
Yeah.
What it's gonna look like because it's written in tandem.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like when I tell you, it got so annoying. There was like no tension through any of these. All the scenes that should have had tension because we flip every chapter is a different character we focus on. Like, oh, now we're going back to Denny. Now we're going to the couples that are at this camp. Now we're going back to Gary. But the amount of times I think I'm a pretty good focused reader. The amount of times I've had to reread paragraphs.
Yes.
I fell asleep reading this because you think it's an exciting book. You see Crackcoon, you're like, this is gonna be crazy. But I mean, there's some crazy scenes, but there was a general lack
Yeah.
of tension.
I think the sentences seemed so choppy and didn't really blend very well.
It was so clunky, the writing. If
Yeah.
there's some, like, I'm trying to describe the best way to describe it. Like, he used like he overused transition words, and like he would also, you could tell when he did that thing that like middle schoolers do where they look up synonyms. Like like it was, I forgot. And I kind of get annoyed when people just don't say like she said, he said, and they've tried to find different ways to say said. But even instead of put up the tent, wasn't it like they erected the tent? And that's just one example. But like when I tell you
He
there were
did it
so
all
many
the time.
synonyms,
Yeah.
like just do use the original word. It's less awkward. I circled every time I was like, he looked up a synonym.
Because it was so noticeable when he would do it.
wish I
It made no sense. But anyway, Gary, now he's kind of setting off to the ranger station. He's going to the forest, his precious forest. And he has this like premonition about the raccoon. Quote, Charlotte's repeated request that he be careful had stirred in Gary Bentley the unpleasant request that he be careful. What?
Yeah, that second request sounded strange.
Maybe,
Wait, hold
maybe
on.
it was repeated back.
Hold on. I think I might have repeated it. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, let me try again. The unpleasant feeling that today wouldn't be the piece of cake he anticipated. Stranger still, the feeling of danger seemed to hint around raccoons, or one raccoon in particular, that missing little lunch meat thief Elvis. So some foreshadowing.
Speaking of foreshadowing, Jakob, every single chapter, since I know I read some of this about, but me and Ashley were ranting about every single chapter was like, little did they know that tonight was going to be little did he know. Every single chapter ended with this foreshadow sentence. So it was like the most, I'm like, stop.
Guys, we get it. We know. Something bad's going to happen.
But it never does. You think it's going to be bad. The chapter's only like 3 pages. And like, all right, so something bad's going to finally happen. I'm like,
You
no.
literally have to wait till it lasts like 3 chapters to see something bad happen. But anyway, this is the most heinous, no, maybe not the most heinous, but I think is the most cringe chapter. I'm sorry.
Which chapter is it?
Chapter 7, when we're introduced to the 4 young people, Tom, Sarah, and Marie.
Oh, the dialogue
And Ron.
here.
You can just tell that this man has never been around young people in his entire life. And he's like
Or
stuck
not
in like
for a while.
2007.
Not for a while. He hasn't heard our time period, like our people speak.
Yeah, this is supposed to be taking place in
Our age.
modern day, but you would not think that. Okay, anyway. So I call them the 4 youngins.
The 4 youngins, that's what you coined them.
I don't know why I'm calling them that way, but it just kind of seems like they're being referred to as youngins, even if they're not being referred to specifically. I don't know, it's strange. Anyway, so these are the 4 youngins, and they're going on a sleepaway campground. They've been planning this for weeks. They're planning on doing a lot of partying, drinking, and sex. Anyway.
Getting laid.
Yes, the girls are like, yeah, we need to get laid. First of all, girls never say that.
I know, I think it was a girl that said that. And she's like, where's my weed? You know, I'm gonna be a cranky bitch without it. Or she calls herself a bitch like that.
Yeah. So she, okay. So they're asking about the marijuana, because this is what the girls, the hot babes, that's what they want. Where is the marijuana? And Tom disappoints them because he doesn't have it yet. The hot babes are pissed. Okay. I'm saying hot babes because he literally said that in the book. He was referring to them as hot babes. Multiple times. Okay. But Tom reassures the ladies, that the drug dealer's coming by Denny, that we learn. He's going to hook them up, so don't worry about it. One of the girls said, and now we don't have any weed. So we're just going to be stressed out bitches to you both all through this weekend. Sarah said philosophically.
Philosophically?
Wow, what an interesting choice
Oh, God.
of word there.
I literally was like, philosophically? What?
I forgot that detail. I love this dialogue.
It's terrible. Or like the guys are telling the girls like, yeah, we're gonna be partying and exploring you two ladies' thongs.
Oh yeah,
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Are they saying that they're going to explore them in a sexual way when they're wearing them, or are they literally going to go through their luggage?
I think the
think-
former.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that's still
The
is
latter
just
was-
strange to describe
I know.
a sexual encounter that way.
And they say in front of like, did they say a collective we are going to be exploring? Is that what it says?
Yeah, the boys were like, yeah, we're gonna be exploring you two ladies' thongs.
Imagine saying that,
I don't
Jacob,
understand
like
that.
with your bro or something.
No.
Exploring. Just say no.
That's
Ugh.
what I'm saying. No one would say this, like, ever. It's like, seems like a cheesy 2007 horror movie where, like, the young people are out and they're, like, you know,
And they're
stupid
horny.
and they're horny. They don't have no idea what's going around them in this, you know, campgrounds.
yeah,
And
that's
then,
what it sounds like.
And then all the worlds collide with our first main character, Denny, and
Yes.
Tess. All the worlds collide. You're like, what the fuck is going to happen? When is this stuff going to actually start happening? But it does start happening.
Yeah. So Denny is cruising with his hooker, Tess Diaz, that he has hired for the weekend. And Tess Diaz, quote, Tess was a redhead who was well stacked everywhere. Lots of tits, lots of ass, lots of legs, which in her profession equated to lots of male customers.
Wow.
Oh, God.
So yeah, that's Tess. Tess. So you know, she's a crackhead and she's very easily manipulated.
I have a theory, a conspiracy theory.
Mhm.
I would love to hear it.
He's writing this, like, basically this book was written, it was a foregone conclusion they're going to turn it into a movie, so this was written with that in mind, right?
Mhm.
Doesn't it seem like he's just, like,
Yes.
writing in the potential casting of babes?
Yeah. Yes.
And he can, yeah, because he'll be on set when they shoot it.
I'm
He's
taking
probably
selfies
in the
with all of them.
in the movie. So that's a pretty smart move.
And the character's name is Gary.
Yeah.
Like he had all these, like, yeah, all the girls I guess are babes, right? Kind of.
Yeah,
So let me
pretty
say-
much.
That is,
They're all babes.
that's a good theory or conspiracy. I could 100%.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
I mean, we saw like even though the wife's not described in the she is described as
Yeah,
like
tall,
she's a
slim, and
babe, too.
blonde.
and yeah, in the trailer she's like this babe and I'm like and Gary's like standing in the kitchen with her and
I got to rewatch this trailer.
we've got to might do an episode about watching the movie.
Yeah.
Yes, we have to watch the movie.
Speaking of ass, though, is that coming up yet?
Hmm?
Is the ass part coming up yet?
Girl, no, it's not even close.
All right, never mind.
There's a lot of chapters. Okay, anyway, Tess, yeah, she's the crackhead, and she's very easily manipulated because all he has to do is kind of lure the drugs in front of her and, quote, it will come running with blowjobs on offer.
Oh God,
what? Wait,
it
say that
will
again?
come? Does he call her it?
No. Okay, maybe I should read the whole thing. All he had to do was flash the lure of a great high at Tess, and she'd come running with blowjobs on offer.
Oh God,
This is wild, dude.
treating her like a dog. Come here, got the drugs.
Yeah, right? Like, come here. It's
This
terrible.
is more disturbing than the other two books you
In a
guys
way, it
covered.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. Oh my God, I can't. Okay, anyway, Tess has the baggie of drugs that they're gonna, you know, give to the youngins. So they got the weed in there. They have, you know, I think they may have some cocaine, and then also Agent Orange. Dun, 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 dun. And Tess is just adamant that she wants to try this Agent Orange because Denny's been hyping it up. Oh, Tess kind of knows about Agent Orange because she's kind of recounting this story about how one of her customers who works at the county morgue has been noticing these guys that are coming in with orange eyes. So she kind of already has some like,
When you say the guys coming in, you mean like the bodies coming in?
yeah, the bodies that
Okay.
are coming in that, you know, I don't know.
Which in the movie, John Rousseau is a mortician.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, he was looking at her.
Denny? This is in the car, right?
Okay. So this is going to be very, okay, so Denny, this is a very important thing to keep in mind. When he is cruising, right, he sees a raccoon come by and he swerves a little bit.
Oh, yeah, this is really early.
Oh, wait, no, scratch that. The first time he swerves his car was because Tess started grabbing his manhood.
That's word for word of it says.
Did you? Okay, I was about to ask
Ash
if you chose that word.
Choose that word.
No, he did that. So she's, trying to say how appreciative she is to him because he says, to drive her point, she dipped her hands into his crotch, found his manhood, and squeezed hard. Hey, take it easy, girl. What you're going to do? Kill us both?
Wait. Do you think Gary thinks her squeezing his penis is like a sexually gratifying thing to do?
I guess.
That's a very strange way to describe that.
A squeeze, that sounds painful, if anything.
Or is she squeezing it to inflict pain?
I never even thought about that.
Maybe.
But why? Is she mad
Girl
at that
power.
moment?
No, she's trying to be like, thank you so much for bringing me along this weekend so I can try all these drugs.
Then she's trying to. It's not supposed to be like a thing where she's trying to inflict pain. Then it sounds like
she's doing her job.
Yes, doing her job, doing what she's getting paid for. But anyway, so she does this, and then he gets caught off guard, and he swerves a little bit. That's why he's like, "Yo, take it easy." But then the second time he swerves is because he sees a raccoon go past the road, and he swerves again.
And you know who sees him swerve?
Police.
A new character?
No, just the police.
The police come, and they turn their lights on, and then Tess is like, oh, shit.
Because they got all the
substances,
drugs?
Yeah, so she has the idea that she's just going to, chuck the purse out the window.
This is how the raccoon gets to it.
Yeah, that's how the raccoon.
She's like, hey, I got an idea.
I'm
Let's
understanding
just
now.
chuck this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see the filmmaker mind.
Yeah. So keep in mind, Tom, Sarah, Marie, and Wrong, the youngins, they notice all of this going down with the police pulling them over and Tess throwing out the bag. And they're like, oh my God, they're about to get pulled over. We're not going to have our weed. What are we going to do? So they're just kind of staking out.
Of course, it'd be in the exact area where they're camping on this campground. The youngins see it's like the events are happening. The perfect overlapping moment. All right, continue. Sorry.
No, you're good. Okay. So Elvis, now we get the perspective of Elvis, the raccoon. He notices Tess throwing her purse out the window and is intrigued by the smell that is coming from the purse. And it kind of reminds him of these little orange nuts that he likes. And
I forgot that detail.
It leaves on this little cliffhanger that he's examining the drug, but not actually eating it. But anyway, now we get to the part where Denny and Tess are being pulled over by the officers, but Tess recognizes that one of these officers is her customer.
Of course. Police corruption.
Right?
So she can use her looks, her charm.
Yeah. Okay, this is all really cringe and stupid. I'm sorry. So, the cop was going to let him off easily after hearing that he swerved because he saw a raccoon. But then the cop came back and asked him, but what happened about the first time he swerved? When she grabbed his penis. And Denny made a motion towards Tess and was like, looking at her, And then the officer's like, I don't know. What do you mean? And she's like, look, And then the officer who knows her was like, hey, man, come over here and let's talk about it. So the officers talk about it. And then they're like, okay, yeah, we get it. You guys can go.
Yeah. And then they drive off and the officer who's like, I guess, maybe got a blowjob or two from Tess is like, just keep it in the bedroom. Keep your sex in the bedroom, not on the road or something like that. Something like that.
Wow.
And that was the voice I imagined.
So they get scotch-free. Is it Scott? How's the saying go?
Or is it scratch-free?
It's not scratch-free for sure.
Scot-free?
It's scot-free.
Oh, man.
Oh. Okay, so they get off scot-free. The cops are like, yeah, we get it. Tess is she's a hooker. We get it. It happens. Now, Denny is now wanting to retrieve the baggie of drugs so he can get, his money. Now, Denny and the youngins are looking for the drugs or looking for the baggie that Tess threw out the window. Sarah does find the baggie, and I might add very quickly she found it. Like,
yeah, it's like unrealistic.
Yeah.
They scavenge the woods and like, oh, I got it. Found it already.
But the Agent Orange is gone. Boom. Elvis, I guess, took the Agent Orange.
And this is about halfway through?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably more than halfway through.
Okay, cool.
Because it's not that long of a book.
No.
Oh, just so you guys know, this is a little side remark, but the last 30 pages are literally pictures of his other books to get you to buy them from Burning Book Publishing. Yeah, so it looks like a really big book, but last 1/4 of it is not a book. All right.
Okay, so the drugs are gone. He decides to just take the young crew back to their camp, but Tess is just so adamant on finding it, and she can like almost smell the Agent Orange, which is weird. It's like, why, how can you smell it already?
Can you guess why she can smell it, Jacob? Since you are the party that has not read this.
She can smell the Agent Orange.
Yes.
Tess can.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's very adamant on finding it. Like almost like, why? Can you guess?
Wait, should it be obvious?
I was wondering because usually Jacob's a good guesser.
But I kind of, I'm getting a little tired over here. So I kind of was.
We got the seasonal allergies happening over here.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
no, it's okay. So
she
just
throws the
walk
bag
me back
out.
through it a little bit, and I'm gonna guess this. Okay?
So she throws the bag to avoid the cops. She's like, let's
Yes.
so they don't find this. They
Gotcha.
the youngins and help Tess and Denny look for look through the underbrush and the forest and look for the drugs. And
Let me ask you this: they were coming out to get drugs to the young people.
Yeah, to give
and
the
they
drugs.
contacted them.
Yeah.
Initially, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why do you think she can smell the drugs, Tess? She has this like keen sense of smell all of a sudden that other people don't have. Why?
I have no fucking idea.
Okay, what?
Because she's had it before.
Yes, literally.
Oh, is it
that was
I thought she was gonna be like part raccoon or something.
No. Sorry, it's not that interesting. But you find out she's taken Agent Orange.
Well, actually, not necessarily in this chapter, but we find out later that she's already taken it.
Sorry.
And is that like that revelation worthwhile at all? I mean, what is it? Does it
It
tell us something
explains
about
later. Yeah, it kind of has a domino effect, kind of.
Yeah. Okay, so Denny is really pissed by the way Tess is acting. He's like, damn, I just want her to be obedient. Why is she just acting crazy? He says, the last thing he needed was for Tess to start sulking and refuse to sexually service him over the weekend. Oh God, wait for it. Being in a group that included hot girls was sure to give him lots of boners, and he needed Tess to handle those erections for him, so he didn't make a fool of himself. Or worse, start trading his expensive drugs for sex.
So he's surrounded by all these hot babes. Like, she better handle my.
Wow.
How do we feel about this writing?
I feel like this is like a self-report from the author. But no, yeah, I can understand where Danny's coming from, I guess.
Oh my God. So, Elvis has definitely, we're back to Elvis, and he has found the Agent Orange, and he's now addicted to it. He noticed how Agent Orange is kind of making his body and mind very, very different. Quite a catastrophic change. He said, or not really he said, but even as he grew more and more addicted to this strange orange substance, Agent Orange was already working strange and devastating changes in his body and mind, turning him into something nature never intended him to be. Oh, Lord. Okay, so we're back with Gary, the nature man. he is just going on this tangent about how it's so perverse that people are littering in the woods.
Oh, yeah, that was kind of funny, actually.
It was funny.
He's upset about the litter.
Gary finds the baggie that has that lunch meat.
He recognizes it, right?
Yeah, he recognizes it. And he noticed little tiny little chew marks on it. And he's like, oh shit, that was Elvis. He's been here. And then he finds the Agent Orange baggie. And he just thought it was candy.
Yeah, I thought he was going to eat it at this point. I don't know why.
I know, right?
I was like, oh, is he going to like snack on it? He turns crazy, but he doesn't. He brings it home, right?
Yeah. So Gary's now going to take this baggie home as evidence to Charlotte.
This is why we don't take wildlife into the home, because they litter our earth. I don't know. Or they just turn.
I have some funny quotes about his rampage on littering. You ready for this? If y'all want to live in the city, then live in the goddamn city. Don't bring your trash and trashy ways here.
And this is like, was this an italics moment? This is like it said, everything's in italics one.
But today in particular, littering had gotten his goat, and he wasn't in much of a mood to overlook the offense.
Gotten his goat?
Have you ever heard of this before? Gotten his goat?
No, but I accept it. It sounds like a saying that exists.
Gotten his goat? Is that like a West Virginia? What, did you look it up? Gotten his goat?
You did.
Oh, I did, wasn't it? Like it got on his like last nerve. Gotten his goat. I forgot I looked that up. There was multiple weird figurative language pieces, but.
So yeah, he does not like littering. If anything, despises it. Now, Denny and the kids are getting lit with the drugs.
Oh yeah, so.
Except they don't want to do the crack because they don't want to mess up their lives.
No, they're too smart for that. they just want to dabble with the weed. They I don't think they had intention to do the crack.
No, they don't. They're not going to do it for whatever.
But they do want to have sex.
Yes, they do. They want to explore those thongs. Anyway, Gary gets home and he confronts his wife. And, she's defensive and she's not going to stop feeding her beloved raccoons. She licks the bag and proclaims that it might be a drug. And then this turns into another dumbass argument.
Wait, did you say she licks the bag?
Yeah.
Charlotte does?
Yeah.
She licks it?
I think so. That's what I wrote. Maybe she didn't lick it.
Oh. I don't remember that, but damn.
So she thinks it's drugs. And then they get into this dumbass argument where Gary just has this whole ass tantrum about how she's wrong and that it's candy and it's not drugs, blah, blah, blah. Quote.
Yeah, it's very weird how upset he gets about that. It's so bizarre. I was like, oh, okay, this tonal.
Yeah, it makes no sense. He said, no, it's candy, he explained, banging his arms on the table, making the dinner plates leap in the air. Don't try to fool me. That is candy. And for Christ's sake, woman, stop feeding the damn animals.
You're not making the dinner plates leap. That's so dramatic.
That's what I'm saying. It's just a tantrum.
It's candy.
No, it's drugs. No, it's candy.
Unable to accept it. Maybe so. It's so anti-drugs it can't even be on his forest floor. But.
So yeah, now this has created some tension between Charlotte and Gary, and they're not on the best of terms right now.
Yeah,
okay.
She's kind of just the accepting wife though, and she feels bad about it later.
Yeah.
But is this where the ass stuff starts?
No, not even close, girl. Okay, now we're getting introduced to Jake and Nina. They have now entered the canon. They are Tom's older brother and I guess sister-in-law?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're about to join the party too, but they have gotten lost.
The youngin' party.
Yeah, the youngin' party. And they're in the wrong direction. But Nina hears a sound in the woods and starts to get scared that someone is following them. And hint, it's the raccoon.
Yes. I was about to guess that, but I thought better of it.
Okay, here we go. Now.
We got some good ass stuff coming.
Oh my God, y'all. This is heinous.
Okay.
I was actually shocked by this.
Okay, maybe so it's good.
I was like, okay, finally, we're getting some shock factor,
Some beyond the bottom shelf type of
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah,
Actually,
I still
yes.
feel like Jacob's
Okay.
reaction is going to be like, okay, but maybe it'll be more.
In the moment when you're reading such dry material and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, it's like a
what?
day to night, night to day.
Right? Okay, so Marie, one of the youngins, has an ass fetish.
The opening line of that chapter was so funny. Yeah, he calls it an ass fetish, first of all. I don't even know if he's using that word correctly. But
I don't think so. I don't think being into ass stuff is not really a fetish. Like, is it?
Yeah, that's a weird way to describe that.
it was like, I was like, all right, why are you like making this seem like
no,
something?
that's weird.
But she's into...
No one in the world has ever said that.
No, I've
Like
never heard
ass
ass
fetish,
fetish. Basically, for some reason, we get into her past for like a slight second, and we find out she...
Is into butt stuff, I think is what you would
Yeah,
say.
and
Okay.
she's an expert on all the different contortions that is involved in ass stuff and playing with your ass.
I cannot wait to hear what happens next.
Oh God!
Because all I can think
God.
about this through is the lens of him writing this so they can make a movie about it.
I know. I want to know how they do this in the movie. I'm so curious. Okay. So Marie is insistent that Ron needs to eat her ass tonight.
She's gonna speak up because she has not been speaking up about what she wants, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So she's been kind of settling for, mediocre sex, but now she wants to do the ass stuff
Mm-hmm.
tonight. Now, I guess they start,
Foreplay.
foreplaying and stuff. And like,
These details aren't too crazy.
he kind of starts eating her like ass a little
He
bit.
does. He starts licking her down on the bottom.
Okay, I hate to ask this, but how is it described? How explicit is the description of this?
Does she get on her knees? And he just... It's not that crazy. Do you have a quote from that ass chapter?
Yeah, I want the ass quote.
Oh. Oh my God, I can't. Ron had a nice thin tongue, and Marie relaxed her sphincter?
Sphincter.
Sphincter,
Oh my
so
God.
that his tongue could slip inside of her.
Keep reading.
Which she knew lots of guys didn't enjoy. But Ron and she had already reached the agreement that after she came this way, Ron could fuck her in the ass as compensation, which he was really looking forward to.
Not the sphincter.
Okay, I didn't expect that.
Wait, can you read the opening line of this chapter? You got to hear
Okay, here we go. Hardly anyone knew it, but Marie Comer had always had an ass fetish. It had been there right from when she was a little girl and had developed in
What?
leaps and bounds once she hit puberty.
Oh,
She
That's
experimented sexually with herself for years and realized that while she could reach orgasm in the conventional way, she orgasmed best and in multiples when someone played with her anus.
I don't like this at all.
I know.
This book went from a whole 180.
That's when, like, Ashley, I was like, because, like, I remember you had this reaction to the Shrek love story, but this is, like, my strongest reaction just because, like, up until then, there was nothing.
It was so tame, and
It was
we've
so
watched his
tame.
movies that have like Christian themes.
Exactly. And listen to his Christian
And he's running around
songs.
talking about eating asshole and fucking in the ass and
Sphincter.
stuff. That's so interesting.
She said, "Okay, get behind me and start licking." She
Yikes.
said in stone tones.
Stone toe? Stone?
Okay.
Stone?
Oh my God. Yeah, because they're stoned. So stoned tones.
Oh, stoned tones. Okay.
Oh my God.
So,
And
okay.
stone
Okay,
toes.
so-
That's so stupid.
Stone tones. But when he's like licking her down there, she gets so frustrated because guess what he does?
Oh, yeah.
What does he do?
Oh, okay. So,
Well, his cell phone starts ringing.
yes. Ron gets a call from Jack and Nina because they're lost and they want to know, how to get back. And so Ron's like, he's literally in the middle of eating her ass. And Ron's telling them, hey, sorry, I'm kind of busy. I'm eating my girlfriend's
Why do
ass
you
right
just
now.
why do you just not answer?
I don't know. It's so stupid. And she's, of course, getting she's like, oh my God, is he actually talking about eating my... Well, I don't even know if you see her reaction, but he's like, yeah, just eating her ass right now. I think she's mad at me.
Does he say that to them?
Yes.
Wow.
I haven't even fucked her yet.
He's just a brother on the.
See you in 5.
What the fuck?
And she gets so mad, and understandably so.
She kicks him out of the tent.
She kicks him out.
She's like, get the fuck out. He gotta sleep outside. Right?
Yeah. So Ron goes now and tries to find
I know what's going to
them.
happen. I kind of have to predict.
Yes. Wait.
You keep talking about butt stuff.
Oh, God.
Is this the same person that the butt stuff happens to later?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. This is like a bitch in the box again with the fetishes and the,
I know,
know.
right?
and
It's
the
such a
horrible things
callback.
happening that are a result of the fetish. Whatever. Okay, keep going. I'm sorry.
But also, first of all, this is not a fetish. I don't know why he called it a fetish. It's just like she just is into butt stuff. So that was stupid. All right.
Yes.
Keep going.
Okay, so Nina and Jake are trying to find their way to the campground. Then suddenly, Elvis comes out of nowhere and he attacks Nina to the point of decapitating her.
He like
He
chews
bites
through
her
her neck.
head. Okay.
Yes. And then
I don't know how that happens.
I don't either. Again, the anatomy stuff and like it's not very. It just happens in like a sentence or two.
it's so funny because when Nina is like being eaten by this raccoon and like attached on her neck, Jake is like hitting it with a flashlight.
Oh, I forgot that. It's like, no,
Get her off. It's just so dumb.
this is what's gonna be. Maybe the movie will stay true to the book.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. But
She's gone.
yeah, so Jake is upset and he has this chilling memory of Nina's head popping off her body like a champagne cork.
It's compared to champagne cork.
Yeah, that's what it says. Jake is getting upset. He tries to run off to, tell the others that, there's a killer raccoon on the loose. But when he gets to his car, Elvis is waiting for him
On the car. Right?
on the car and then begins to attack him. No, actually, okay. Once more, Jake Jackson was struck with total disbelief as the raccoon began digging its way through his body, tunneling through him, through his back, and leapt down onto the sand again. And by then, Jake Jackson was dead.
Dead. That's how he ends the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it
So
tunneled
that's the
through
best
his
chapter
body.
in the whole thing.
That's the most. Would that be the most violent? No.
It was the most, it was the most violent. That was the first time something happened. It's chapter 19.
Killer
How many
raccoon.
chapters
This is
are
what
there?
Agent Orange. This is what drugs do to you.
30.
Okay.
But we also are left with Elvis wanting more drugs, and he's going through withdrawals right now, and he really wants to find that Agent Orange. So he's getting even more pissed. Now, Charlotte was on the porch, and she saw Elvis come through the little pet door, kind of looking helpless and, about to die. Charlotte is convinced that Elvis is going through withdrawals because remember that argument, you weren't here, when Charlotte was adamant that this baggie had drugs in it.
Yes, she knew it was drugs. She's like, it looks like drugs, and her husband's all like, no, it's candy.
Yeah, so Charlotte's come to the realization like, oh my God, Elvis went through these drugs and, now he's going through withdrawals. And then she calls Gary down. She's like, Gary, come on down here. Elvis, he's not doing too well. So Gary starts wagging the baggie full of Agent Orange in front of his face, which causes him to kind of like leap into action.
And this was after he murdered 2 people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Elvis was not her cute furry animal anymore. And started to leap from the floor and snapped the baggie out of his hand and then ran out of the house.
Oh, he did run out of the house. I forgot that part.
Yes.
So yeah, so now he's got more Agent Orange.
Uh-huh. And so he's going to wreak even more havoc now.
Finally. This book
Right?
took forever to get to this part.
I know. Okay, chapter 21. Tess is now insistent that Denny needs to have sex with her right now because she has not been fucked in a while.
Yes. So again, they're in a cabin. They're in a cabin in the
Mm-hmm.
not in a tent.
It's the other 2 youngins.
This is a drug dealer and the prostitute.
Gotcha. I'm sorry, Danny. Yeah.
No, it's a lot.
Okay.
It's a lot of
There's
characters.
so many, it's hard to keep up. But plot twist, it was a trap.
How?
Tess wanted to get him tired enough so she could escape.
This part was ridiculous. So
Wait, escape from the guy?
yeah. So oh my god. And
Why?
he he was like, he just wanted a blowjob, but she was like, I want you to fuck me so hard that you get, like, basically her plan, you find out, was to get him, so have like hardcore sex, get him tired out. He falls asleep, takes a nap. She's like laughing maniacally. You get into her head kind of with the narration, and you realize that she had this plan all along to sneak out, like get him really tired from sex, sneak out and find that Agent Orange, snatch it up, because she was addicted. She was craving it.
Because Tess has been lying this whole time. She's already tried Agent Orange and is addicted to it.
Yeah.
Though she doesn't have the side effects of the orange eyes for whatever reason. I don't know why. But she does have those like intense anger outbursts, and she's already killed 2 people while she's on this drug. And but the symptom that she does have is that she has this kind of like canine sense of smell when it comes to Agent Orange, and she's just able to find it immediately. So that's kind of a callback when we tried.
Oh yeah, we brought it up earlier.
I remember.
Yes.
Okay.
So this all happens pretty quickly. You find out, and again, I thought it was really cheesy when she's like leaving him. She's like laughing. She's like, ha ha ha. I got him. And then
Tess sees.
Is this leading to the climax of the story? I would say so.
Kind of, yeah. So she sees the raccoon, Elvis, eating the baggie, and she's pissed that he's eating it all. And she immediately sees that the animal is addicted as well. And she tries to fight with the raccoon and kill her. Well, she has this like club with spikes that context. They're in this, what do you call it? A cabin?
Yeah, it's a cabin.
They're in a cabin. So she grabs this club that has spikes on it. And she's trying to fight the raccoon, but she keeps missing his head because she has the club on the wrong side. And keeps missing his head.
Mm-hmm. I kind of forgot this.
Yeah, dumb. And now Denny and Ron have now walked in on them fighting.
Because he woke up, he was like, where's Tess? And yeah, he was looking for her. And Ron came too, because again, I guess they're in, like, spatially, they're in a similar place.
Yeah. Tess and Elvis have quite the showdown. I'll read you this quote. Whack! Suddenly, the raccoon was airborne, zipping across the cabin's front room like a baseball heading for a home run. But then it hit the wall on Tess' left and bounced back at her. It landed on her left shoulder and attempted to sink its teeth into her neck. So literally, he's going like a little boomerang.
I'm curious like how they're gonna throw the stuffed animal on set around, like just throw it at the wall, like
right,
just like grab it like this. Because I saw the cartoon,
Yeah, that could make for some funny gags.
Yeah, that's what I think they're gonna go for with these ridiculous fights. But then they have a moment, the raccoon and Tess, and we're kind of nearing the end. Yeah,
we are. So Denny and Ron, they hear the cries of Tess and they come into the showdown. But like you said, Tess and Elvis kind of have this moment of realization. It's stupid. It's like kind of this telepathic moment where they're kind of looking at each other, and then they realize they're not enemies.
They're in this together.
They're in this together. And they have a common enemy in Ron and Denny, and they're trying to separate them and get them in between or come in between their Agent Orange. So they decide to gang up together and try to kill Denny and Ron.
Okay, so the raccoon comes up with this plan?
Do you actually see the raccoon come up with this plan, or it's just implied?
I'll read the quote. What happened next was borderline telepathic. Tess and the raccoon glanced knowingly at each other, and an unspoken communication flashed between them. The coded knowledge that these two people had just entered the cabin were enemies of their non-believers who would take their precious stash of Agent Orange away from them forever and ever. This deadly enemy needed to be attacked and defeated, and their threat laid to rest for good. Get 'em, boy!
So they're drug addicts in this together.
Yeah. So they have, little uncommunicated.
Yeah.
Unspoken.
But it makes no sense for the raccoon to be like
formulating plans.
Well, maybe this Agent Orange is just that. It creates consciousness.
Right? Yeah, that's why I'm like, is this, magical realism?
He's smarter than I don't know about that, but it's something.
That might be a reach. So Tess is now swinging that club with spikes, but again, she keeps flipping it on the wrong side. So she is not, doing much damage. However, Ron, the raccoon has now gone to Ron's head and it's being eaten down to the bone.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he eats through flesh really fast. Through every person he's like hurt.
Okay, so Denny was able to escape though, and as he was running, he
trips.
God,
this was stupid. This was like Jacob. I knew Jacob was going to be like, what the fuck? So he's running down the cabin stairs. He trips.
Yeah, he trips, and then he falls into a hole. Call back to Get in My Swamp.
Oh, he does fall in a hole. And is that how he dies? He doesn't.
Yeah, he dies because he has broken all these bones.
It's so stupid. I was like, it would have been smarter if he just tripped and she came up and finally got to swing at him. But he just dies by tripping down the cabin stairs. He was almost free.
I know, it's dumb. So Tess is happy that Denny is finally gone, but she's pissed though because Elvis the raccoon has now took
everything.
Took the baggie,
and he didn't want to share, even though they had that moment.
Right, that moment of solidarity. But I guess it didn't mean much. Anyway, oh my God. Now, this is absolutely heinous.
This is the ass stuff.
This is the, this is the ass stuff. Okay. Marie wakes up to what she thinks is Ron eating her ass.
She feels like a little tickle down.
Yeah, she's like, but she's confused because it's like Ronnie does, not Ronnie.
He's not into that usually.
Why did I say Ronnie? I wish his name was Ronnie. But anyway, Ron doesn't have a beard. So it's like, why does it feel really hairy?
She's like, huh. But she still goes along with.
And she flick, the tongue went, licking away and probing inside her. And she's really enjoying it. She's about to orgasm.
She kind of she was woken up by that. She was in sleep.
This is a different person than the other person that's into this?
No, it's the same girl.
No, it's the same girl.
Remember, because she kicked out Ron. She was like, "Get out of here!" And then
so she's not the one that got decapitated.
No. This is a different girl. I know. There's a lot of characters.
I know. It's a lot.
Okay. No. Okay, it makes sense. She was still alone in the tent.
Yeah,
got it.
So,
she was like, "Oh, this is his way. He's apologizing, making it up to me." So
yeah, Marie is super into it, but then she gets a little uncomfortable because it seems like he's now going. She's assuming that Ron is now putting his penis inside her. But it almost feels too big.
Yeah, so it's climbing in her asshole.
Yeah.
Is that what you were going to guess?
Of course. I mean, that's so obvious.
And now she's like, what the fuck? What is this? What is going on?
It starts to hurt.
She looks over and she's horrified because now she's being anal raped by a raccoon.
But when you say anal rape, you mean it's
burrowing in her.
Burrowing in her. Okay.
Yeah. It's not sticking his penis. It's sticking his head. It's climbing into her.
Oh my God. She said, fuck, I can't believe it. There's an animal in my butt. Okay, I know how I'll handle it. I'll tell Tom and Ron that I've got bad woman sickness and ask them to drive me to the ER.
She's embarrassed. Okay, so this is stupid because she doesn't scream. She's like, I can't scream. She decides not to scream.
Because she's afraid they're going to put it on YouTube.
They're like, yeah, she's going to put it on the YouTube. They're like, I don't want them to record this and put it on. It's so stupid.
Okay.
So, yeah, the raccoon's digging in her and she tries to the imagery of this, she's on her stomach and she's trying to yank the raccoon out of her ass by his legs.
Didn't I read this out loud to you?
No, it's a different part.
Okay, I thought I read this out loud to you.
But yeah, so this is all you could tell written for the gag of it in the film. Probably.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. So Elvis is now fully entered her body and she kind of looks pregnant now.
Yeah,
so,
it's pressing against just a horror movie thing.
Yeah, you
so
see the little
stupid.
paw prints on the stomach. But anyway, her brilliant idea to try and get rid of it is that she's going to start rolling around on the floor with her stomach.
It's
to try and get it out.
Yeah, he definitely was thinking about the movie scene.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And she rips it out? Or
No, because Elvis has been eating inside her to the point where her body is now draining of blood from her throat and her anus, and now she has died. But as she's
I know.
dying, now she decides that she's going to scream.
Yeah, it's like at this moment she couldn't hold it in any longer. I'm like, what is this? And that's what brings the other two lovers to the tent to find her.
Yeah, so Tom and Sarah, they hear Marie screaming and they run over and they see all the blood and it starts to coming up her throat. So you kind of see this something's coming up her throat and it's like dislocating her jaw.
Yeah, it's like
Does it come out of her mouth?
Yeah, so the raccoon does come out of her mouth.
Yeah, there's a Stephen King short story where a cat burrows its way into a body and then comes back out. It's very similar to that.
Really?
Speaking of which, apparently one of his books is word for like way too similar to one of Stephen King's books.
Oh, so he's probably read Stephen King stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, because I remember that being the Darkened Hills
The
thing.
Darkened Hills, yes, I got that
it's
award.
Like
it's like a Salem's Lot. They were like
a
this
beat
is
for beat
plagiarism.
like remake of it
Yes.
or rewrite of it. And there's a famous short story that Stephen King wrote where this hitman is hired by this old rich guy to like, and he's like, "What's my target going to be?" He's like, "This cat," and it's like the cat from hell or something. I can't remember the name of this.
So it's
and if I'm
and it
even
does the
explaining it
exact
correctly,
same?
and I think there's a film adaptation of this. It's in like Tales from the Dark Side or some
That's
anthology
good to
movie.
know.
But yeah, anyways, he has to go assassinate this cat from hell who's
Does it
can't
climb
be
up through
killed.
someone ass?
And what it does something similar to this.
Oh, I could totally see this guy reading a lot of Stephen King. That if somebody made that comment about another book, that's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently. Oh, also very random, but apparently this book is very similar to Cocaine Bear.
Oh, he talks about that in an interview.
And he talks about that a lot, about how, no, it's not Cocaine Bear, even though we came up with the same idea at the same
What was the
time.
inspiration behind these stories?
Well, we know in the little title above Crackcoon says Crack Kills, but we thought about just putting a subtitle that says inspired by another movie, because everybody will jump to the conclusion of Cocaine Bear. But my friend Brad Twigg was brainstorming with me, and he had sent me this idea for a cracked out raccoon. And so it was one of those hold my beer moments. And I wanted to come up with something real funny. I wrote an outline of what could happen in either a book or a movie. And so he and screenwriter Todd Martin went off to work on a movie counterpart, and I went off to work on the novel. And basically the novels all contribute to help make the movie. Any sales that we get goes to pay whatever, any parts that we need done.
It's possible that it was just coincidental timing, but
Yeah.
I just thought it was
it's a little
kind
weird.
of interesting to mention, just on the topic of, similarities. But anyway, Tom and Sarah, they come and they see the raccoon coming out of her throat and they're like, what the fuck? And now the raccoon is starting to eat the orange candy, the drugs. So Tom and Sarah want to grab their phones to take evidence photos. But then they remember, Tom remembers that Ron has a gun. And they're like, oh, we got to get this gun, so we need to kill it. But then the raccoon went airborne again and started to attack Tom's face.
Oh yeah, didn't it rip out his eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where all the body horror is all smashed into these few chapters.
Mm-hmm. And then Tess comes out of nowhere.
She crazy. She wants to
Yes, she's crazy. And she ultimately kills Tom. And she's now pissed because the raccoon is gone.
Tom survives for a little bit without his without his eyes. That part was kind of
Yeah, I know, right? So Sarah has escaped. But Tess wants to kill Sarah. Sarah takes
And
the
what's
gun.
the reason for that she wants to kill? Just because she wants to know nobody to see?
Well, yeah, I think she just doesn't want Sarah to go and,
To the police.
go to the police. But now Sarah has taken the gun that Tom has found and shoots her in the face, but then keeps shooting her.
Wasting
to the
all her
point-
bullets.
All her bullets!
Of course, because that's got to happen. So
Like-
they have no defense.
Right? That's so stupid.
She's like, oh, all the rounds were... Wait, it was Sarah that shot Tess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's by herself now. Everybody's
Mhm.
dead.
Yes.
This is near the end, y'all.
Oh, yes.
This is the
okay.
end.
Yeah, we're getting towards the end. So Gary the hero is coming in. Okay. He's out on the roads and he sees Sarah running towards him and she's telling him that there is a killer raccoon. All right. Unlock Gary the hero. And he's going to save this damsel in distress. Now, Gary goes to the tent area and realizes that the raccoon has been doing all this is Elvis.
The realization dawns on him. Hey, just any raccoon. It's Charlotte's.
And okay, now we're getting this imagery of Gary is seeing Elvis has now come out of Tess's anus.
Yeah, so he's digging through more people.
Yeah, so it's not just exclusive to Marie. He's digging into other people's anus.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll read this quote. Gary was treated to the strange sight of Elvis, bag of orange crack clenched tightly between his teeth, forcing his way out of the dead woman's Tess anus.
I think that's the part I read to Jacob. And you were like, because you were trying to nap and you were like, can you not read that right now?
Yeah, I think that was it.
And that was all the havoc he wreaked in this book, right?
Yeah, so the whole place is smelling like ass.
Is that a detail?
Yeah, they say it smells like ass.
Oh.
And it looks like Elvis is now stuck in Tess's ass.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the perfect time for Gary to finally do that fatal shot. And
Like
Elvis's head has now exploded into millions of pieces, leaving the image of a headless raccoon body stuck in a prostitute's anus, still holding on to his precious bag of Agent Orange.
Again, this is what the film version, the final image maybe he wants to see.
Mm-hmm. You know, now it's getting to the way where, you know, the police come and they're confused by it, but obviously they see a raccoon in, you know, someone's ass, so they kind of believe that it happened. But anyway, he went to his wife. Charlotte still wants to feed the raccoons, blah, blah, blah. And they have a burial. Am I saying that right?
Burial? Yeah.
Burial?
Yeah.
Ceremony for the raccoon. And he's still suspicious that this raccoon will come back one day to disturb his campers.
I think that's the final line. Yeah.
Oh, that was the end?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my God. Okay. That was good.
We're at 136.
Yeah, so literally, I feel like nothing major happened.
No. We had and that was like the last third of the book where all that body stuff happened. All the rest was just like creating these perfect scenarios where their lives would end like this, like the campers meet Denny and Tess and like, just like all, I feel like the whole thing was just like set up to get to that point. And
yeah.
And again, Gary took center stage like halfway through the book. I guess that's the protagonist of the book, our boy Gary Bentley, or Gary Lee Vincent, maybe in the movie version. Well, for sure in the movie version, but
it makes sense. I don't know why he's so fixated on being a hero, because he was like that in the other movie that we watched.
He
Oh,
was
the
literally
Guardian Angel.
He was an angel, yeah.
It's so interesting.
What was that film called? Should we name drop it?
I forgot what it was
I
called.
can't remember the name of it either. It's got a weird name.
It was, yeah, but I don't know. Was this an anti-drug thing? When I first started reading, I was like, is this like a big but no, I don't think it is. I think it's just this dude writing this fun story, and his friend is making the movie version.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think this goes beyond the bottom shelf?
I don't think it's, transgressive enough. Like, if that's our criteria, it's just very bland.
Yeah, you're rating stuff on how transgressive it is, and also the second thing you're judging is just his overall quality.
Yes, so quality and transgressiveness, and the quality, I thought this was like some of the very
so it's under
clunky
par
writing.
on both of those. Yeah.
Yes,
very much so.
Subpar.
Wait, under par is good.
Under par? Oh, subpar.
In golf.
In golf? No,
You
I think you're
wanna
trying
be
to say
under,
subpar.
so wait, is there a better way?
Subpar.
It's weird that we say that though, because being subpar is good
It is?
in golf. Yeah, because you want to be less strokes than par. That's how you earn points in golf.
So we've been using that word wrong?
No, I think it's how everybody uses it, but it just kind of struck me that it is kind of technically incorrect. But yeah, no. So it's not very good. It's not that. I mean, I guess some of those final chapters did up the ante a little bit in terms of the gore and some of the schlockier elements.
But wasn't compared to the last book, like even just hearing it secondhand, like it was kind of tedious to get through hearing that because you have all these characters.
I was literally falling asleep.
It's hard to get through. I was falling asleep, but that's why it took me so long to get through this. We literally had to Like Ashley was like, I'm literally forcing myself to read a few chapters each night.
Yeah.
Yes, literally, because it's just so much like describing and setting up for this like reveal. And this reveal is honestly not that, crazy.
For a book with a crazy raccoon on the cover, I thought that would be more crazy.
Yeah,
So in
it's writing a check it can't cash there for sure.
Right.
Yes.
With the title and the cover. But this will probably work better as a film because you can get a little bit more wild with the visuals and the gore and stuff. So
And we will watch the film.
I'm sure in
we're
that
definitely
context,
watch
this works
it.
better.
Yeah,
So
I
you
agree.
wouldn't recommend this, obviously.
No.
No, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No. Maybe recommend some of
But
his
we definitely
music.
recommend his music. Yes, I was
Yeah.
about to say
Yes.
that. Yes.
And his movies.
Yes.
Check him out.
So what are we reading after Crackcoon? Because I don't think we're going to read Crocodiles at the moment, at least.
No. We may read a dinosaur erotica story. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Something T-Rex. Yeah, I forgot the name of it, but
It was something like Triceratops and Bottoms, something like that.
I'm excited for that. I think there's some time travel.
Yeah, I think it'll
elements.
be a bit wild. So I'm pretty excited about it if that's the one that you want to read. But
I'm down. And Jacob, he's down to listen to us.
I can't wait till next week to hear more.
hopefully something a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you.
See you next time.
See ya. Bye.
And I know something just ain't right, and I live like I learned a bridge built means there's one to burn. But when the music fades and the lights go down, am I still the same when no one's around? I'm just a man behind the mask.